DNA matching or matching the DNA or to prove that you are, suppose there is a uh, maybe 1,000-year old DNA, uh, somewhat the information or the information received and people try to prove that you are belongs to that dynasty, then they will take your DNA sample and try to compare, or in particular a DNA matching algorithm. Sometimes there are a lot of bioinformatics algorithms, sometimes like antivirus, sometimes it requires for the intrusion detection, sometimes malware detection. So wherever there is a matching with the stored information, so these things are coming to the picture, or you can say simply the way Google try to match the keywords, or when you perform a search. So what type of algorithm is being used? So it is not also not known to the people that uh, or the this Google and others, they never declare that what type of pattern matching they uses. But this is just an introduction or a typical string matching algorithm. And if you look into the reference, uh, you can take the very good reference where you can find this title internet algorithm for from Goodrich and Tamasia, this blue color book algorithm design. Um, the old editions are with C, then C++, and the recent edition is with Python algorithm design by Goodrich and Tamasia. This publication is John Wiley. Uh, I have already uploaded the book slide of uh, Goodrich and Tamasia to the portal. And second, your common book, that is Corman, where also you can find the good coverage of the internet algorithm. You see, it's a ocean. Just to start with, because some people might have come across the string matching algorithm, and if you have experienced by writing the program or C program, any of you have used the header file string.h? Any of you have used? Hello,
Yes. Yes.
string.h. And what is the echo? And I think that same you can find also in C++. Okay, so a simple advice: everybody should at least use the string.h function, because sometimes that is going to help you to write certain codes. Uh, it's a very, excuse me. Hello, good morning. Yes, yes. मैं अभी क्लास में हूँ. Sorry. So it's one of the students. So okay. So what is the string.h is going to help you, because there are some functions maybe you can propose a special class of header file for a special class of application. And here you will be finding there is a lot of things are intermixed. If you look into this, while using a editor or a word processor, you want to match. Um, we talk about how the hash table has to be used. Sometimes it will be complete project string matching, but when you try to search in the backend, you are using a hash table to do that. Okay, so you look into the first application, that is while using editor and word processor or the browser, then your login name and password checking, and maybe you can take this type of things into any authentication service or a DNS, or you can say like LDAP or any authentication service for a large organization where you have thousand users are there. And if you perform sequential check, there will be a delay for granting the ticket, and people will say internet is slow. Not like that. Similarly, virus detection, because the unauthorized string which is being inserted, or maybe a single word which is to be inserted, is going to disturb your things. Let me tell you, sometimes we talk of the protecting a file or protecting a database. The logic is like that: every file or a database has a begin marker and the end marker. If you want to insert the end marker following the begin marker, then when devices try to read that, it will not move to the content of the, I mean, it cannot see the content of the whole file, because the logic is that when it start reading, it read up to the end marker, and the end marker is inserted in the beginning. So you find a begin marker, you start reading, followed by the next few of the end marker. So you will be saying that there is no data in the file. So you can do this type of mischief. Achha, let me tell you another thing. Any of you have come across debug? Debug, have you heard of?
Debugging
Debug.
program, sir.
Yes, sir.
Debug. Not debugging. Not debugging in program. Use of debug. I think you can go to the DOS prompt. I mean, whenever you are working in the machine, can you go to the DOS prompt? DOS prompt, you know? The typical old user can do it.
Sir,
We are
MS-DOS.
MS-DOS, yes, MS-DOS. So you can go to the command mode of a window. Nowadays, this generation, it's a command mode. Can you go there? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you see, you can do a lot of things when we talk of, okay, this is why I say, when we talk of a binary file, right? And we talk of a exe file, you can find the DOS, the files are with COM and with extension exe. That you know? COM and exe. COM are the binary files, truly binary files, and there is a command. You can convert a exe file to COM file. There are many characteristics why the OS and others uses a COM file. Why I try to talk in this topic. Suppose you want to design a virus scanner and others. So what should be the mode of the file? Definitely not a exe file, but a COM file, because it has many advantages into the loading and the area, time of loading, etc., etc. Okay, somebody tried to use this pattern matching algorithm, written a C program, got a exe file, translate the exe to the COM file, and I want your file should be loaded to the memory when a system is started, so that it can keep checking on the user area or a particular area, or maybe a network utility checking the ports, and that whether any unauthorized signature is entering. Okay, there is a simple command which converting to exe2 bin. The command is the longest command word in the DOS. exe2 bin. So exe2 bin input is your exe file, output is your COM file. So you can run it on a DOS prompt. You can get that. Okay. So why I talk about debug? Debug is the utility where you can do the low level programming. Maybe you can do little bit of mischief, like you insert only one character into some location of the memory and your keyboard start behaving differently. So indirectly another application comes. Suppose you want to go for a pattern matching algorithm where you try to find out what are the illegal bits inserted into the if some portion of the main memory or into the text, you can find it out. So if possible, if you find something, the programming with the debug, it's a low level programming. So sometimes what I say, sometimes some real world problem comes where you are writing a C program, then you are finding difficulty how to fit it into the systems. So it may require to convert them into a COM file, and after that maybe you many of you know the we have a auto execute file auto.exe.c in the your window. It actually it's a part of the DOS. The core is the part of the DOS. So you can attach your command when at the start of the booting of the system, it will first try to check, just like you are buying the virus and packages and installing, doing that. So you can do that. So this is just idea key being a at the programming level, at this level also you can design a complete product where you can check the of a particular signature, whether it is infected or a particular keyword which is misplaced or written very wrongly, or sometimes as it says in the editor, you are trying to check a you want to design a new ID for a particular language. So you try to design a compiler which will not only detect the syntax error, but it will try to correct the syntax error. So these are the many applications where you can use a string matching algorithm. And the most important thing, the string matching algorithm, we are only looking into very little things. Maybe you can say 0.001. I have got a text where 70 string matching algorithms are there. So it's a ocean. You can learn so that in case a requirement comes, you will have a basic idea. Look into the fourth one, that is a header analysis of the data communication. Okay, header analysis of a data communication. Many people are using or talking about internet things, wireless communication, and uh, that day someone is talking ki, I say ki, who are your neighbors wireless nodes, how you can know? No sir, I will check the header. But you might be put into the task in a company where you have to write down this program, how to check the header. So it is nothing but a string matching algorithm. So first information everybody should know, there is a header file available in C, that is string.h, which has lot of inbuilt functions like cascading the string, counting the number of character, etc., etc., which will come to the rescue. And you can find even complete book that uses string matching using C. I have come across that book in maybe in 90. So now definitely that book will be there. I didn't check even, but I have seen a book from SAMS which is only using only string.h. And during our student days, so we take the help of that book, copy and others, we try to do that. So then the search engine like Google and OpenFind, you say, people try to design the new search engine, improvise the search engine. Maybe someone is joining to the Google and others, then they will ask you, do you have a knowledge on string matching algorithm? Do you have a knowledge in automata? So then you start with. Okay, last one, the seventh one, as I say, the database or the gene bank. There are various gene banks are available. When it was started, actually string matching algorithm was there, but people used to uh, take the help of the other language. Now you see in the Python, you have lot of inbuilt functions. What I can suggest you, at least you look into the Python and just memorize what are the facilities are available or inbuilt function are available to do the string matching. Not, not to take this theory as only for the exam. Because if you listen to these 7 applications, there are many applications that makes you rich. And I always say one thing, ki you are aiming to become a solution architect, not that a programmer. If you merely want to be a programmer, you will be like a mason platform. Okay, so that is the objective of introducing these things. So the search of some designated string in the computer is a classical importance problem in computer science. Then here it also talks about the search engine like Yahoo and Google. Of course, it has got two parts. One is the appropriate data structure where it will be stored or how the information will be maintained. So they use a heap like structure. Suppose you try to search a particular event, suppose now happens, international events happens, that is search frequently. So they change the representation, they move them up to the top of the heap so that that information can be retrieved quickly from any internet repository or any source. So the nucleus of all this thing is your string matching, and will be quickly enter into this another application of the DNA. Okay, DNA. Why sometimes I always talk about the DNA, because long back we used to work on this. That is on the a particular domain was very popular. Computer science people are looking for the job, that is your bioinformatics, and in particular in bioinformatics, even the department uses lot of packages, and those packages are actually coming from the computer science people or the programmer. And when the computation is heavy, maybe you are getting a opportunity in a company who writes the only string matching algorithm. They call themselves as a bioinformatics company, and starting from a single processor algorithm, they are moving into high performance computing and HPC. Here in my institute, people are there, they know a package on bioinformatics, they say we need a supercomputer to run that, but they are not the programmer. They will simply enter the data and allow the program to run for a number of days and number of hours. But on the other side, it is an opportunity for us, those who will be writing the code for that. Okay, here of course we are not discussing those algorithms where the parallelization is possible or it can run on the multiple machine. But you remember there is a scope. So when we talk about a string matching algorithm, if somebody will search is string matching algorithm can be used. Okay, so we'll quickly jump into the basic things. So what is a string? String is a sequence of character. When we say sequence of character, we always refer to a alphabet. So alphabet is the common notation which we are using in automata, that is to be referred. If I say binary, my sigma is 0, 1. If I say English alphabet, it may includes all the uppercase and lowercase. Or if you look into a DNA sequence, then adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine of the uracil is missing. Then depending on that, we have a sigma. And here the string, sequence, character, all those meta concept. That is, when I try to check that whether the string is a valid string, I need the help of a grammar where I can check. And sometimes someone is talking of NLP and others. So this is nothing but is coming particularly predominantly in a particular language. I mean grammar, then followed by the language. Then you have a different mechanism where you can check the validity. Plus, when it look into the string matching, it also try to relate the automata. So one part which we are not discussing here, that is the automata portion, because many of the book will be finding in pattern matching or a string matching. In a pattern matching section, they will also simultaneously discuss the automata. Then they calculate the complexity which is required when you are going to design a theoretical machine or automata for pattern matching. So very simple notation, P is the pattern which is of M character, and the string where I have to search a pattern. It may be one page document, it may be one book, and very popular command you are using Control F to search. Okay, so when you use Control F, whatever you are typing, that is a pattern. Suppose I want to search for a word in string in this my document. So what I'll do, I'll type Control F and Control F window will appear, and that Control F, whatever I am entering, that is a pattern. Where I am performing search, I am performing a search on these PowerPoint slides or 69 slides which is there, that is a text. Okay, clear, pattern and text. So pattern is the string which is to be searched, and your search space is nothing but the your text. So P is of in general notation, P is of M character. The representation says we are using a array to represent. Okay, so any arbitrary portion of the string, if I want to take, then it will be the position from I to J, and if I want to take all the character, it will from P1 to PM. Some of the book they uses a notation that suppose a pattern is of length M, they start the index with 0 to M minus 1. So you adjust according to that, depending on the book or the algorithm. Both is good, whichever is convenient to you. If you are very inclined to the C, so it will be better to remember when you start with 0 to M minus 1, or you can start from 1 to M. So in that way you can modify the algorithm. So the same thing also in the text is of N character, and we start with that index from 1 to N, or you can go from 0 to N minus 1. Okay, so this is something when you immediately look into the algorithm you can manage. Here you see we assume that T is a length of N, P is a length of M. Again I repeat, while writing the program, choice is yours. You can start a loop from 0 to N minus 1, 0 to M minus 1, or from 1 to M. So now the text is the array of length N, pattern is the array of length M. The element of the T and P are character from a finite alphabet set, that there must be finite number of alphabet. That is one of the condition that alphabet sets are fixed, either it is 0, 1 or A, B, C, D up to Z or a DNA string. Why? If it is infinite, then the pattern, whatever you are going to synthesize, your text will be infinite. So the algorithm cannot be terminated. Okay, so in general, that either the T or P, we call them a string of characters or collection of characters. Okay. Now, if we look into the string matching, there is a popular function. Now we'll come to the algorithm construct. So there is a, okay, no, sorry. So P is a string of size M, and whenever we try to find out a pattern, we start reading the string from left to right. We try to place the pattern. Suppose you are doing a brute force method and I am searching for a word prefix. I'll start searching from the first position. Then if I'll not find a match with let, I'll move to the next. Then I move to the next. And remember it, when we are talking of a string, if it is English like sentence, the blank is also a character. Okay, blank has to be appear in sigma. Blank has to be appear in sigma. Suppose I say ABC, I have a grammar. Here also I'll introduce one character, that is blank. Usually this T and P are called the strings. And when you look into the string matching problem, we have a most important function is the shift. Shift, to define a shift, I can say if you start searching using a brute force mechanism, you start comparing the first character of the pattern with first character of the text. And whenever you find a mismatch, let us say you are looking for a word called occurs, and I try to compare with this we, then I got a blank. I conclude that my word occurs is does not match with we. So we make a shift. We make a shift. So there is one more character blank here. I shift to the next word. So that means if you treat the whole thing as an array, this is first position, second position, blank is the third position. So I am saying my pattern will be placed in the fourth position, aligned with the character S. So shift is a function, and this is the key function of the algorithm. Imagine that you are searching for a particular word, you open a page, and when you searching for a word, let us say you are searching for a word good on the, you open a book and you are searching for a word good. Can you tell me how you search? Yes. Can you tell me how you search? How you search a word when you open a book? Yes.
From first letter.
Suppose you start keeping a pen and pencil on the first letter, you go on searching, that will be a brute force. Are we actually searching like this? Tell me how you used to search for a particular word. You open a book, you go on jumping here and there, na? Or every time you search from the linear
Yes, sir.
book.
Yes, sir.
Huh? So if we can, the way our brain works and we jump here and there, and if we can model it and convert it to a formula, then perhaps we can do the fastest searching. So this is all about transforming that type of reasoning to a algorithm. And I mean, we have nothing to do because algorithm is proposed by some of the intelligent person and we are following that one. Right. So we are jumping here and there. And in the process of jumping, sometimes we got knowledgeable. We gather certain knowledge that actually narrow down the search. And sometimes it is just like a randomized jumping. And if we are lucky, we can catch hold of that particular pattern. Right. And your intelligence is so sharp that when you are searching for a words, let us say invalid, when you look into the particular word, it is INV or INT, immediately you say no, this is, there is not a match, I jump to some other places. So these type of reasonings are put forth as a formulation, and a new string matching algorithms are designed. Otherwise, in a brute force, you need to compare all the character of the text. Okay. If you are searching for a pattern, you go on copying. So when we try to automate the program, the shift is the key function. So suppose in a brute force, the shift is linear. And if it is linear, complexity will be high. If you try to improvise, then you have to do some shifting, so that maybe you can call it intelligent shifting, or maybe shifting with a lot of knowledges, so that with a less number of comparisons you can do. Now, let us call this shift function is S. Are you able to understood this line? 0 is less than equal to S and less than equal to n minus m. If you try to search a pattern and place at the first position, it starts with the first position. As you say, some of the author uses 0 as the first index. And you are searching for a pattern of character 4. Okay, when you are searching for a pattern of character of 4 and then n is a size of 500, so we may find a match of that character at the end of the uh, text. So this is n minus m. That means if you place at the end of the text and you have to place here, because in at the fourth position, if m is fourth, if the first position is not matching, rest of the things is not to be matched. I think this is clear. What is the maximum position is to be compared to conclude that the pattern occurs. If the pattern is of 4 character and text is of 20 characters, so simply 20 minus 4, then you are checking the first character towards the last. And if you find first character is matching, then the pattern is, then I try for next word. If first character there is a mismatch, then I will not compare. So this is shift is the positioning from where the search starts. Remember, shift is the positioning of the pattern from where the search start. When we begin a brute force search, shift value is 0. If I say I found a match, I'll continue. If I find a mismatch, I'll again jump to next position. So the last position at which you place your pattern is n minus m. N minus m is the position where you last place the pattern. Then you compare number of character which is equal to the length of the pattern. So if it is a 4 character, you place at the position number 16. So you are comparing 16, 17, 18, 19. It may be a match, it may not be a match. So that's why the shift is a function, or you can say a pointer. It points to a location from where the pattern will start comparing. That starts from 0 to n minus n. Okay. If you'll be finding that you position at S, so text corresponding to that position match with first character, and then text corresponding to second position matches with the second character of the pattern. If all the characters are matching, that is T S plus 1 to S plus M is matching with P 1 to PM, that means all characters of the pattern, then you can say we find a match. Okay, there may be a single occurrence of the pattern or multiple occurrence of the pattern. So we have different algorithm that supports multiple occurrence of the pattern. Okay, so this is the simple example of a shift, and we say shift value equal to 3, then we try to compare that. Maybe a match, maybe a mismatch. So 3 is a valid shift. So if you look into a string of, I mean the text of n equal to 13 and m is the pattern which is length of 3, then this is, you can test this example of the shift. Now the very simple algorithm is the brute force. I don't have to talk much on this. So in brute force algorithm, every character of the pattern need to be compared with every character of the text. So your pattern has of m character, string is of n character. So in a brute force method, you need to compare. So this is a typical brute force algorithm, which just put in a text form for your convenience, or maybe somewhere you need to explain that you align the pattern to the beginning of the text. You go and compare uh, until you have a successful search, or a mismatch detected, you move to the next position, and which will be linear, or if it is a continuous binary strings, it will be linear. And if it is a English like text, maybe you are using the blank space to decide a shift to the next word. So the brute force complexity will be order of m into n. Our basic objective is to reduce. Our basic objective is to reduce this time complexity or improvised algorithm, which will be less than order of m into n. Okay. And if you are looking for a very large uh, pattern, and sometimes you will be say complexity will be more, and sometimes you will try to search into a large n, even if it looks to be m into n, it might be very difficult, because n can be a book, n can be a database containing 1,000 records, so it will be difficult. Or maybe like a Google, you are searching for a keyword, like string matching algorithm is the word you are searching, it may be searches in the million number of pages. Okay, so remember it, we are not discussing about the index building in Google. That is a different thing, how the index is designed to do the faster search. So this is a simple illustration, and I don't want to go through this because it try to uh, compare like the aligning at the first position P with E, because there is a match, there is a match. Here I am finding a third position, there is a mismatch. When there is a mismatch, we try to shift it. So as it is a linear shift, the wherever the mismatch occurs, I'll shift there. Maybe, or I can start even second position, I can put here. I found A and B is mismatch. So in third attempt, I put here. So this is the way the pattern moves aligned with the text, and this is your brute force pattern matching, where you can find this shift function is linear or starts from 1 2 3 like that, or you can say the value start from 0 to n minus m. Okay, so this is a typical brute force algorithm, and here you see, as I say, we are using the index starting from 0 to n minus m, that is the maximum position where the pattern can be shifted. Then is a very simple thing, corresponding characters like this is to be matched, this is to be matched, which is very simple, this is to be matched. If a match is there, if a match is there, we have a decision. If we don't find a match, we have a decision. Okay, so if we are finding the first character is matching, then we try to match the next character. So you can write any for loop, or you may not write a while loop, you do it as per your convenience to write a typical brute force pattern matching algorithm. So there are many drawbacks. You can say this complexity is order of mn is one of the drawback, and I'm not going to discuss. I mean, not going to discuss like this. Very simple things. You can read it. The certain the drawbacks are there, and then this is a simple scenario of a DNA matching. We have a text, we have a pattern. So sometimes in an algorithm comparison, we note down this quantity after how many comparisons we are detecting. So if you want to us to implement, you can take the help of the number of comparison. You see first comparison, second comparison, third comparison, fourth comparison, there is a failure, right? Then I shift it. Then here is the number you can change. Here 1 2 3 4 is written. I'll show you in my next slides. So first comparison, second comparison, third comparison, fourth comparison, there is a failure. When an align it with, again starts from fifth, number of comparison 5, so again there is a mismatch. So again I move number of comparison with A with C, again there is a mismatch. So in at the end we are calculating total number of comparisons required for successful pattern matching, then so that we can compare different algorithms. Okay, so now in general, we are supposed to discuss the string matching algorithm, or you can say the pattern matching algorithm, which is a two-phase algorithm. Both these algorithms are two-phase algorithm. So first phase is independent, which is to be performed, and following the first phase, second has to perform. Sometimes you can say the first phase pre-process. So this is a taxonomy. So exact string matching algorithm. So one is the number theoric notation of category. There are many classifications are there. As I say, we are only discussing 0.001 on string matching. So here we have Kunt Morris Pratt algorithm based on the name of the developer. And then we have the Boyer-Moore algorithm. These two algorithms we are supposed to discuss. Why it is a two-phase algorithm? The first phase is, you can say, we are doing certain preparation or arrangement. That facility has to be used by a typical string matching. Phase 2 is a typical string matching algorithm, and phase 1 is to capture certain information so that we can perform a better search other than the linear search. Okay, but phase 2 is identical. Phase 2 is a typical string matching. Only difference is that shift function changes. In a brute function, in a brute shift function is linear, and that same shift function will take a value and that value is coming from some decision, and that decision, to facilitate that decision, we are performing some work in the phase 1. Okay, so either we are able to use some reasoning, we are able to enter some heuristic, is like that. So this is the objective of the Kontmori's part, and sometimes it is not is something like this. The basic idea, when we try to look into this idea, when the algorithm compares the pattern to the text from left to right, obviously, this is our, because we are considering the English like sentence or maybe any vernacular things is used in the Indian context. But if you look into some of our friends, some of my own people also, they put into the software development work in Gulf. Uh, Many Arabian countries, their pattern writing is something different. It's a big challenge because they have to do everything from right to left. So you should not say ki I have learned the logic from left to right. I cannot do from right to left, because they are, because many of the countries or your clients will be from different language, and if that language starts from right to left, then you have to adequately modify the string matching algorithm. And there the hardwares are designed like this. I mean, the printers, when you look into a typical printer, it starts printing, maybe it's a dot matrix printer, it starts printing from only one direction, and there are the printers which prints in both direction. Definitely that printer will be the best suitable when we try to, because their telephone billing, gas billing, and whatever their utility bills, all the packages starts from right to left. So both the things you should keep it open, and you should not say I know from left to right, and I don't have any idea from right to left. It's just the opposite, only managing of the index. It's only managing of the index. If you are doing it from 0 to n minus 1, then do it from n minus 1 to 0. Okay, so when there is a mismatch occurs, what is the most we can shift the pattern so that to avoid the redundant comparison? So this is something which is coming from certain reasoning, and that reasoning has to be introduced. Okay, so how to place the pattern so that, again, with very less number of comparisons, we can continue. That means the larger prefix you can save. See, here A is matched. Just because of a single mismatch, there is a failure. Now, say, if I try to place this thing next to that here, aligned with B, the B again A is mismatched, then again I try to align here. I will find a match. Next character A will not match with B. So again I'll shift into that. So that we try to avoid. Where we can put, so that less number of comparison plus, you see, this is how this is being done, will be discussed. Now here I have put, by some means somebody told me you align at this, instead of align with second character, we aligned with fourth character, and interestingly that the two character is matched, and your effort starts with here. It says resume your comparison here. You placed in a pattern such a way that at least you can get rid of few comparisons, because few comparison means here you got a knowledge. AB is a pattern which is already available in the text. A is also available, A is also available. Then you may ask why AB? Right, why AB? So that will be the answer based on that page 1, where we calculate, when we try to gather some information, a relationship or occurrence of the alphabets within the text, and that knowledge is preserved, and that knowledge is going to guide the search in second page. Again, I repeat, second page algorithm is a very simple algorithm, and almost it looks like a brute force. Only thing is that where to shift, where to shift. So shift is predominantly used. I'll just show you one algorithm. Uh, is predominantly used to perform the um, I mean deciding the position where to shift. So that's why second algorithm is not in that way difficult when you Look into that. This is the algorithm. I mean, almost this is something you see how this looks. Okay, this will be again confusing. Okay, sorry, I'm looking into this like this. Okay, so if I am moving like this, this is goes for a single one. But I aligned at this place, then I aligned at this place. Then you see, instead of aligning with third character, it jumped to this place, then align to the next. Then in his and in the step number D, A is aligned to this sixth character. But because of certain pre-computed information, it just jumped to this position. That is 13. So this is the shift function decide. So you'll be finding there is a shift function. There is a shift function is predominantly appearing in the second part of the algorithm in two-phase algorithm. Okay, in the two-phase algorithm we'll be finding a shift function is there. Right. So the concept of the KMP algorithm is to compute a prefix function pi. The prefix function encapsulates the knowledge about how the pattern matches it itself, or if you try to match the pattern with himself, how it is going to do that. So this is the key, that how this prefix function, which is popularly known as pi, to be computed, that which encapsulate the knowledge about the how p matches against the shift of itself. So what we try to do, the pattern is of m character, and we try to find out the value because the pattern is matches with himself. So it start matching with first character, can goes up to last character. So if we try to report in terms of a integer value, we say first, that means we want to say about the shift value. Please remember, we want to shift about the shift value. If I am aligning my pattern along with the first characters, then my shift value is 0. If I am aligning at the position of the second position, my shift value will be 1. So as the length of the pattern is m, at best I can use a shift value m minus 1 so that my character will be aligned with the position number m. Okay, so that's why the range is 0 to m minus 1. Okay, then what we try to construct, we try to construct a pi of q. Okay, let us directly come to that how we are going to do it. For prefix computation pi, the prefix function pi for a pattern encapsulate the knowledge about how the pattern matches itself. So for a given problem, we don't look into the text, we'll be only looking into the pattern and compute the prefix function. We'll compute the prefix function. So the first part of the algorithm is to compute the prefix function. So this is the algorithm. And some people, what they try to do, they use like a thumb rule. Just I'm showing, so don't advise not to do that. Okay, this is a function. Okay, this is the particular pattern given AB, AB, AC, A. And if you look into this, whenever some people uses the thumb rule like this is the pattern. Okay, so pattern is AB. Okay, it's a mistake. A capital A is written. I need to check the change. So, so if you look into this, this is a string. So people try to memorize like this. A appears first time, so this value is 0. B appears first time, this value is 1. A appears second time, this value is 1. Then this logic some people try to memorize, but you see, the B appears second time, this value should be 1. So don't do that. And for a given pattern, do calculate and use this algorithm to do that. And in exam, actually, sometimes we want the student to answer a simple question that compute the prefix function for a given pattern. Okay, so now first line is very simple. In M, you find out the length of the pattern which is given. Maybe you look into that in the first, you will find out the length of the pattern, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So length is calculated to the 7. So then you try to start with the pi 1 equal to 0. The first element you are assigned. So assigned pi 1 equal to 0. Then you come the next, the iteration starts. The iteration starts with why this k value is used. We start with initializing the k value because that is going to point. That is going to point to the position of the pattern. So initially we say k equal to 0 so that we can say we start comparing first character of the pattern with himself. Okay, so this part is very easy to remember, and this is the complete trace which is given of this algorithm. Then we start from q equal to 2 to m. Why q equal to 2 to m? Because we initialize equal to 0 and we have written this comparison k plus 1. So first character of the pattern has to be compared with the second onwards. Okay, so this is a very simple algorithm. You have to remember this algorithm to this complete this table. Don't do it using a brute force or a particular example. This is a simple hand trace is given, and you have to be a little bit of patience and you have to do the hand trace. But most critical part, you look into this for loop. What is the sometimes wrong with this type of algorithm? What's the wrong? We are not explicitly mentioning the domain of the for loop, the domain of the while loop. Of course, when you align like this or write in a pattern, you can say the for loop starts from line number 4 goes up to, yes, please. Is the statement number 9 is coming within the domain of the for loop? Yes, is the statement number 4 is coming, I mean, statement number 9 is coming within the domain of the for loop? Hello? Can anyone respond?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
So, is the statement number 9 is coming within the domain of the for loop? So that is the reason sometimes when people try to trace and they did the mistake. So you do one thing, you put the parenthesis so that all the domain of the control structure for and while and if will be clearly distinguished. So if you'll do that type because this is a common practice, we know this is, that's why in the algorithmic notation we write to clearly indicates the beginning and end of the loop. Okay, so prefix function computation, uh, this I have already uploaded to the sites. You look into that. So finally, we got a prefix function. So this is the phase 1 activity. In phase 1, we try to gather some knowledge which is going to help us. Second is your matching algorithm. Matching algorithm is very simple. Both the matching algorithms are we using the same, uses the same framework, just like brute force. In brute force, shift value is linear. Here, shift value is something different, which actually comes from your first page. Now, if we look into that, this algorithm is very simple to remember, that is KMP matcher. Here the assumption is that we are scanning from left to right. I think it's a well documented scan is from left to right. Okay, so now n is the length of the pattern and m is the length of the, sorry, n is the length of the text, m is the length of the pattern. Then here we compute the prefix function. Look into this. Compute the prefix function as discussed in the previous algorithm for a corresponding pattern. That is the phase 1. That is the phase 1. And in second phase we start. So as the thing is to be searched from the left to right. Yeah, this I'll just change because it might make a confusion. This will be T. Okay. So now, so Q value is 0. So you just remember why we are using this for value, because we need, then we start doing. So what about this Q is nothing but your shift function. And when I say Q equal to Q plus 1, that is the only case when I match the first character of the pattern is found a match with the some portion of the text. Then I'll go on incrementing the p so that to ensure that all characters of the pattern will be matched. In case we fail, there is a mismatch. There is a mismatch. Then Q takes a value. So you mark into this. This condition appears when any first character or any arbitrary character of text matches with pattern. Then it will go on incrementing and finally reports that the pattern appears at a particular position inside the text. Otherwise, this particular shifting information has to be obtained from this pre-computed value. There are two cases. Whenever there is a match, we'll continue. Whenever there is a mismatch, we have to align the pattern with the next position I mean, with a probability that we'll be able to find it with less match. So this is the pi function. This is the only difference. And similarly, if you look into other algorithm also, the mechanism is like this. Algorithms are very simple. Initially, you have to use pointer q, and the q objective is to take one point to the pattern and its corresponding point to the pattern. And when we set k equal to 0, it actually points to the first character of the pattern, that is p q plus 1. So it goes on comparing with first character. Okay. And if you look into this, the outer loop is n, because we are not sure. So outer loop will be same as the length of the text. So this is the algorithm, and maybe I have put both the algorithms because this is the algorithm which is shown. That is the same as your from the Goodrich and Tamassia, and we align the q equal to 0. I mean, the two different form of matching, and then next takes the shift value from the pi computed table. Okay, so here if you look into pattern is given, pattern is ABA, for which we computed this pi value, and pi value is to be taken from the algorithm that is to compute the pi value for the pattern. And then this is the complete length, and here the only things not to be confused, the pattern is named as p and the string is name, this is your text. Instead of T, we are using S here. Okay, because I have to collect this examples from a book. So here the S is nothing but the text. So it's a complete illustration how it goes with the iteration wise, but a little bit of effort is required to hold a paper and pencil and go through the algorithm to testify the things. One hand trace will be sufficient. And please remember, whenever we present our thesis and others, people try to show a algorithm in a presentation. Don't do that. It has no meaning. Displaying the algorithm, it never attracts the audience. So this and reviewer always try to see whether you have understood the algorithm. So this is I'm particularly telling from the thesis point of view. Whenever you discuss a algorithm, it has to be subjected with a hand trace. And maybe when you are publishing a paper or when you talk of a new algorithm, it has to be followed a hand trace or with a example, so that you, I mean, you can able to convince someone if you'll go through that. Okay, so due to shortage of time, we're not doing it. It's easy. I think you can cope up with that. Now, when you try to implement, you see this is the comparison, which I insist ki at the end of the execution of the algorithm, you should introduce a count, one match, one match. Don't think of the success or failure. Go on counting the match. 6 number of comparison, no result. Shift it. Why I shifted at this place? Because I got the value from the. Okay, so then it's 7. Then there is a match 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again a mismatch. Again 13 is a comparison. Again a mismatch. So totally with 19 comparisons we able to find it out. Okay, so you can compare with a versus the brute force and say my algorithm is good. This is the way one can introduce a count within the algorithm to do that. Okay, so in the best case, worst case, based on the type of comparison, so the running time of the prefix function is equivalent to the, or exactly it is order of m, because we try to compute for all the characters that appears in a pattern. Then KMP matcher algorithm is these two things, because if you look into the loop order of m plus order of n. Okay, so we are doing it for every uh, element of the text followed by the order of m, because every time we take one value from the m. So this is the running time of the KMP matcher. So if you look into the first one and second one is the larger, so overall complexity will be order of m plus n. Then in addition to that, there are best case and the worst cases. So we have more examples with this. So it can be traced with when the match is being found or match is not found. So I try to put lot of examples, whatever the possible, and to test. Okay, so here is the fine, because as I said, there are many algorithms, KMP algorithm with a time complexity order of n plus m. So the following all have the complexity order of n into m, like brute force, Hurspool, Berry and Ravindran. So KMP is found to be the better. Uh, Next, we have few exercise as I have told. These are the exercise problems taken from Goodrich and Tamassia, and some up from the other places, like compute the prefix function only. Alphabet set is AB. For whole thing, you need to compute the prefix function. You need to do a hand trace for that, right? And the second algorithm is the Boyer-Moore. Boyer-Moore's algorithm is that this is sometimes they try to mimic the a concept that when we are searching a pattern by looking into the book, not necessarily I'll search from left to right. I may search from right to left. Where when I place a pattern, I say if the last character of the pattern is found say match, last character of the pattern found say match, then there is a greater probability that I can find a match of the pattern instead of finding the first character or second character of the pattern found to match. So Boyer-Moore algorithm key is that the pattern, remember it, the pattern, not the text. The pattern comparison starts from right to left. Okay, the pattern comparison starts from right to left. And similarly, we have the page or the first page, which help us to looking into the text. We want to build up certain heuristic, and heuristic has to transform into formula. Remember it, when we talk of a heuristic algorithm, if that can be converted to a formula, then it can be programmed. How a person decides that I will purchase this number of suppose a hawker, he has to get the newspaper, magazine, etc., which he sells daily. He actually wait at a particular chowk or near bus stand to sell all his what he purchased in every morning, and he want to maximize his profit because he want to sell everything. So when he got experienced, he know if I'll get Indian Express 20 numbers and X magazine like this, Y magazine like this, Z magazine like this, or Hindu paper like this, all will be sold. But if you'll ask, if he has to teach one of his junior or a disciple that how you decide this thing, he will not able to say, because he developed that logic when he start maybe as a young boy or maybe few years before. He has many losses, he tried to buy many losses, and he faced the situation like this when he come with certain magazine and people, many people are returning searching for that magazine. After that he developed certain reasoning, and based on reasoning he found that out of 365 days, maybe 1 or 2 days is that he is suffering losses. Maybe 3 or 4 days customers are returning without getting the newspaper and magazine. This is all about reasoning. But what these algorithm designers try to do, some of them able to converted this type of reasoning into mathematical formula. That is the key, that is the greatness. So when we say heuristic, and if you can convert that to a formula, you put your computer into work. Your computer become intelligent. Actually, your computer is not becoming intelligent. Your algorithm or techniques makes that intelligent. Okay. So this is the basic concept, very old concept. And here you can say this is AI. Agreed. This is also intelligence. Right. So then he tried to introduce two things, that is the bad character and good suffix, and to see this is the particular shift function. The shift function value is 2, so it is shifted here with a possibility that I'll find a match. But comparison starts from this side. E aligned matches, C aligned matches, there is a mismatch. Now the decision, you start with initially shift value of 2. So how you will shift next? If you compare to both these diagrams, you see shift value is 2. Then suddenly 2 plus 4, 6. Again, you see it is moving back. So it is something what I told from the beginning, when we search for a pattern looking into the pages, sometimes we search from left, sometimes we place, I mean, that particular pattern you are holding and oscillating, I mean, you are floating over the text, where to place. Initial shift is 2, then it is 2 plus 4, 6. Again, it is moving back. But here, whenever it finds that, it aligned here and it finds, see, I. But again, you find it's a mismatch because you start comparing, it's a mismatch. So one comparison he control, no, it's not a right place. Then you try to put again. With this information, maybe the CEC is matching, let me put here. Again finds the comparison mismatch. So this is the idea which is to be translated to a mathematical formulation. This is comes from the Boyer-Moore heuristic. Okay, heuristic I think I have explained, and if you want we can talk more on that. So looking glass heuristic and character jump heuristic, these are the two heuristic. This algorithm try to do it in phase number 1. And phase number 2 is identical what I have seen previous algorithm, start with shift value equal to 0 or q equal to 0, and next q value is updation text from a table, right? You see, this is the example how it goes. One comparison fails, try to place its last character comparing fell, then again I try to put it like this, and finally there is a match. Okay, so this comes also from a formula, and this is not an algorithm. This is a very simple formula. You have to look into the pattern, and when you are looking into the pattern, pattern is coming from a alphabet set sigma, and here your alphabet set is with A, B, C, D, and then whatever the alphabet is not present, in the pattern, their value is to be set to -1. You see, if I have taken all the possible characters from the string to design a pattern, I mean from the alphabet to design a string, that string is ABACAB. Not necessarily I should take D, but then whichever the character that appears on, I mean that appears in the alphabet set sigma, is not included in the pattern, that looks into -1. Suppose it is told that your sigma value is all English alphabets, let us say A, B, C, D, and pattern is A, B, A, C, A, B, then D, E, F onwards up to Z all will be set as -1. So here the next is very interesting. When you look into A appears at the first position, A appears at the third position, A appears at the fifth position, A appears at the first position, A appears at the third position, A appears at the fifth position. Then it depends on the string index. If I start my index with 0, then A position is the 4. That means we are looking into last occurrence of a particular character in pattern. Last occurrence of a character in the pattern. So that is to be referred, and this is the last C, the index of the last occurrence of the character in pattern. If C is in P, otherwise it is -1. So there is a last function, and we call it as the last function of C. C is nothing but the character that appears, that is a part of the pattern. Okay, so this is a tracing, but we can move to a example to calculate. Suppose this is the things. So for this you can start comparing, calculating the value of A, B, A, C. So A appears at the last position, so it goes to highest value. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A value will be 4. So first you character the corresponding last C function, which is charactered like this. Okay, so along with this we can discuss the trace of the algorithm. So again I say it's a very simple. Here L is your pointer. Look into that. L is first, this L actually we calculate the last C function, right? We calculate the last C function for a given pattern and the alphabet sigma. Then whenever I want to perform a jump, or you can say particularly shift. So that shift is possible in two directions, either in left or in right. Okay, so If I am successfully match, I am finding because I am comparing the last character of the pattern. So my next shift will be -1. Okay, not to be confused. You see, you are aligning Ti with to Pj. So what will happen? J pointer will be minus, fine. I pointer will be minus because you are moving from right to left. Clear? Otherwise, if there is a no match found with Ti and Pj, here it comes. You need to decide this L value. Please look into this. This particular L value is to be decided, and this L value is nothing but the shift, and that L value will be used to place your pattern along with text. So that's why the I is the pointer which point to text. So only this is to be updated, and J value again reset to m-1 because you have to compare again from the last character, of the pattern to the first character. So this is critical. This is the shifting. This is the shifting. So from where you are getting this L value? You are getting this L value from the L value you are obtaining from your prefix, I mean your last C function which is computed. Okay, the last C function where it is computed. So these are the very simple algorithms, but because of the some domain knowledge is required, or you can say your algorithm study is incomplete without a string matching. So that's all from my side, and you have some exercise problems. You can look into those problems if required. We have uh, like exercise problem related to that. So these are for your reference. So that's all from my side. And when it comes to the complexity of the algorithm, very simple. The sigma has the number of character. So for all the alphabets, I have to say a value is there, otherwise -1. So it is directly proportional to the number of characters in the pattern. Then you have to do it for all alphabets. So that will be order of m plus number of characters in sigma. Okay, so if you look into the actual search time, in the worst case it will be order of mn, but in actual practice by performing the jump you are able to reduce the time. So average cases it will be better, maybe in the worst case it will be same as the brute force method. Okay, so uh, this is maximum you can say as an introduction for the string matching. um, I think you can find the slides from the book of the authors like Goodrich and Tamasya. That also I have shared. This slide I have said. Okay, let me say. Uh, so these are the from the authors, Goodrich and Tamasya, pattern matching, Goodrich and Tamasya. So it's a, if you look into the book with the 2 or 3 pages, they nicely explain. Maybe the book you able to collect, not necessarily required. You can go for the these slides will be sufficient. Okay. So anything from you? Hello. Any other query from your side?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Hello.
Yes, please. Follow.
Yes, sir. So in the third assignment,
Hmm.
in the binary tree one, sir, you have given us to write a function for printing the tree in a vertical or horizontal or symmetric format. There it is written in to write the tree in a pretty format. So can you please
Okay.
describe what's the format is?
Can you repeat again? Actually, I just my speaker was disconnected. Bolo. Again, please. You repeat again.
Yes, sir. I'm actually yes. Yes, sir. Sir,
Yes.
actually, I'm talking about the third assignment. Yes, sir. There
Right.
it is. There, the last one is to write a binary tree and print the tree in a symmetric, horizontal, and vertical way. So, I
Okay.
couldn't understand the there it's a pretty format written in there. So
Hmm.
actually, I couldn't
Okay.
understand the format. Can you
Actually,
please
the
describe it?
no. It depends on the data structure. You see, the tree is a binary tree, right? The tree is a binary tree.
Yeah.
Okay. How you represent the binary tree in memory? We used a linear array to do.
Array, we can use array.
Yes, linear array to do that. So go for the linear array representation. Okay. So go for the linear array representation. That means you see some application you want that is to be represented in the linear array, or maybe somebody is looking for any representation of sequence of the vertices. So do it for the linear array. So what are the other things, other way you can represent? What is the other way you can represent?
So list, linked list also we can maintain. We can also maintain list, no sir.
So depending on your application, linked list has an advantage. Otherwise, linked list will be burden for you, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Linked list will be burden because there is a
Traverse
trade-off.
back from leaf to root to
Uh,
traverse.
Yes. Asha, next things. There is another representation. Have you come across threaded binary tree? Threaded binary tree.
Yes, sir.
So why we
I've
use threaded
heard
binary?
that were implemented.
Huh? Can anybody
So
say why we
basically,
are?
it's a height balanced one.
No, no, no. Why we use threaded binary tree? I say the links are the burden. Links are
Removing the
the
null nodes. Leave
no,
null nodes.
no. Sometimes you need certain type of traversal, and for that actually you are not getting any information. Okay. Suppose you are at the last node, you immediately try to come into the root node. Is it possible? Because in the traversal algorithm, suppose you are at the leaf node, you try to come into a particular, suppose there is a inner traversal or a pre-order traversal, and you at the leaf node. I ask you, go back to your grandparent. What you have to do? Again, you have to start from the root, right? But at that time, you will be finding many of the link fields of the tree are null. Have you heard of any, have you solved any example that is of converting a thread, a tree to a specific threaded binary tree? You see, threaded binary trees are, you see, the question is like this, they must explicitly mention, if any question somebody asks you convert a tree into threaded binary tree, he is wrong. Anybody ask you, he is wrong. You tell him that which threaded binary tree, whether it is a pre-order threading, the in-order threading or post-order threading. From a corresponding binary tree, you write down a in-order sequence. And whenever you find the in-order sequence, and that sequence will tell you, I want to move like this. But in the tree, you are not finding a direct path. Are you finding? So whenever you are not finding, then you connect fields in most of your leaf nodes. So from leaf node, the particular node, maybe your parent, maybe your grandparent. Okay, so that is why the representation is important. You try for the linear array, that will be good. Okay, and in case of asymmetric representation, you have many asymmetric representation what I have discussed. In particular, I was targeting for 3 different type of representation, that is your pre-order, in-order and post-order based on the threading. Okay, you do it only for linear array, that I'll accept. Okay.
Sir, but how to how to display the tree in symmetric way? I couldn't understand that.
You just show the array, it will be understood. I don't want a pictorial representation. Okay. For us, the representation in the linear array will be sufficient because your first element is the root node, right? You represent in a linear array, that will do.
Yes, sir.
Linear array will do.
So then what will be the difference between those 3 ways of representation, like symmetric, vertical and horizontal, if it is to represent the array itself only?
Okay. But when it look into horizontal and vertical, what is how it looks like horizontal and vertical? Let us come into your matrix. Okay. Matrix like this, you have 2 orders, row measure order and column measure order.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now suppose for some applications, I need the tree to be represented, horizontal view or the vertical view. That is a pictorial view. So first things I say in the array, but second thing is pictorial view. Are you capable of doing it pictorially?
No, sir, not
Yes, also it's
exactly.
also possible. It's also possible. I don't want a figure. I want a sequence. Just to take a tree, if you're looking into a horizontal view, horizontal tree, and you take a horizontal view of that. Okay. Horizontal view is just looks like your traditional view. If you take the help of the array, what traversal is required to help you to the horizontal view? And sometimes
So
my
normal to access left
okay,
2i
normal.
and
So
right
yes,
to
yes.
2i plus
So
1.
actually, no. But when you look into the horizontal view, what is a vertical view? What is a vertical view? Just to look into the picture, when the tree you are starting keeping the root node at the top. Okay. When you keep the root node at the top and leaf nodes at the next nibble, that is a view. Second view you are keeping the root node either on the left hand side or right hand side and you try to search the tree. Right? How pictorially
Okay.
it looks like. This is a very simple. So now I don't want to ask you to draw the picture. What I try to say, when you will be printing the value, you have to perform a traversal to do that. Are you getting me? Or I'll simplify. Okay. I'm just coming to the slide which I have shared and I'll explain you. Because you see some of the application required that it is to be done. Right? Now, I want this is to be printed in a sequence. Which sequence you will print? So you have to perform a traversal, no? Otherwise how you will print? This tree I want to view like this and sometimes this tree I want to view like this. How you will help me? Got it? I want this view. Are you going to represent them in the array so that I can have a feeling of this? I don't want to do the actual representation. You see, if you want to do the printing, your traversal sequence will be different. You see, suppose I print number 12 first, followed by 03, followed by this. In which way you will traverse? Your array is sufficient. You are going to the position number 0 and then I, then 2i, you will do that. But if I try to, are you getting me? I want this to be printed. So which way I'll traverse the stored information? Hello?
Level order.
Okay. Yes.
You see,
Sir,
you store
Hello.
it in
DFS.
a linear array. Let us assume that we store it in the linear array. I want to print the values. Don't go by the node number. Let us say there is a set of names are stored and I want them to be printed. So the 12, let us think 12 is a name. Followed by that, these two are name. Okay, and I don't want a graphical representation and I store everything information. I want to know he is the grandparent. So a grandparent has two sons are like this. So I'll be going for this type of things. And if I'll say I want to print like this, what type of traversal I will do to my stored data so that I can have this information? Are they identical? Yes. Please comment. Are they identical?
No, sir.
So that is the only thing is asked. Some people are capable of drawing it in the pictures. They are also welcome. If you are not drawing it, if you are printing a sequence, you see, if you look into that, here 11 comes first. Next line 614 you printing. Next line you are printing 1. Next line you are printing like this. This is the way you will come. So at least somebody can view that this is the one representation. That's all. So vertical and horizontal why it is asked, sometimes we need to put the information into the proper order so decision can be taken. That is the reason. Okay. If graphically you want to
Okay,
do
sir.
it, welcome, but graphically will be little bit of tricky and difficult. Just like we print all the stars when we write a program, pyramid and that you have done any, write down any C program maybe in the past you have written where we are trying to print the triangle and then we try to print from left to right a particular pattern. It's more or less about that. Reading those value is the key. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Anything from anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, so we'll stop with this. Maybe if you have any specific query, you please put it into my mail and others. I'll try to address. The string portion I have uploaded, but some few NP complete proofs I will upload. That will be what I feel will be sufficient from my side. And I think I have not uploaded the dynamic hashing second part. I mean, mostly the dynamic hashing that I'll upload. Okay. Okay. Thank you for joining. So we close this session. Thank you.